Hey everyone, I usually post only tarot videos or readings in this channel, but lately I've been feeling called to share more about my life, about my struggles as a creative, because I feel like personal stories are often stronger than anything or more inspiring than anything to help people who are going through the same experience. So I feel called to share my struggles because I actually feel good doing it, because it means that I'm connecting with you as my tribe, and I'm also helping you out. And by by talking like this, I get some inspiration and ideas as well, because I'm reflecting out loud. So when I reflect out loud about my process, my struggle, I got enlightened myself. So yeah, so today's video is going to be some chit chat about a little bit about what's going on in my life, but mostly I want to talk about writing today. But first of all, um, I just want to ask a little bit of help. And to be honest, I'm not the kind of person who enjoys asking for help. I mean, yeah, I don't like asking for help if I can still help it. But I don't know. Recently, my spirit guides have been telling me that it's okay to sometimes, ask for help. It's okay to sometimes tell other people, yes, I need a little bit of hand here, or I need a little bit of leg up, because we are humans, right? And what's the use of us being a social beings if we don't ask for help sometimes? And this is not something big. It's just that I have been doing these free readings for like 5 years now. And it has been quite a slow and long journey. Like I'm not one of those readers who for some reason get viral like in a short time. And I'm sure there is a reason for that, maybe to build up my strength and confidence. But regardless, I have been doing this for like years, and I have recorded free pick a cards for, I don't know, maybe how many uh, hundreds of hours, like if you count 5 years until now. So I mean, that as viewers, you can give thanks using the thanks, this little heart with the dollar sign on it, the thanks button. And also I realized that recently YouTube has a hype button, so you can hype a video that you like. So if you have time, and if you um, happen to have some extra money to spare, and if you can relate to my reading, if you feel like my reading resonate and even help you, I will really 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 appreciate it if you can do so much as to hype my video, so that it will get more clicks, more views, and therefore more revenues, hopefully. Yeah, so it's yeah, if you can just hype my videos, it will be very very helpful. And if you happen to have some excess money or spare money, I would also really 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 be grateful if you can donate a few dollars using the thanks button, because it will keep me going. It will let me know that I'm not doing this in vain. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doing this for free. I love doing readings, but my energy is limited, and I also have my own life. So sometimes I have to take breaks. But I mean, if I know that my videos are appreciated, even if you just leave comments, I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you can hype my videos to get more exposure, I will be really thankful. And even more if you can donate, if you feel like you are being helped by my readings, or you feel like my readings resonate highly with you, I will really appreciate it if you can click the help button and Just donate however little or however much you want to donate. So thank you so much. Namaste. So having gotten that out of the way, I just want to talk about my writing. And maybe you ask, well, this is your tarot channel. Why not talking about your writing in other platforms? Well, it's because I don't have many, viewers. So if I just make a separate platform for writing, I'm sure that there won't be many, there won't be many who will watch or who will see my posts. So, and I believe that vibes attract tribes. So I do believe that amongst those of you who subscribe and or often watch my readings, I believe that um, quite some of you may be creatives and writers. And so today I want to share my experience with writer's block, because writer's block is, it's the biggest enemy for writers. And even though I'm not a mass market writer. I haven't written any books or novels. I just write for fun. I wrote fiction for a certain group of people. You can call it, fan fiction. And even though it's not my job or anything, but being a writer, even though it's just a hobby, it forms my identity. It's part of me because I have been writing since forever, since I was a child, actually. I mean, of course, I didn't write all the time. Like when I grew up, I had to work, and so I forgot about writing. But I pick it up again through fan fiction along the years. And I just want to share my experience with writer's block, like very severe writer's block. And maybe these tips will not work for everyone, because I mean, I don't have deadlines because I don't write novels. I don't write anything that is published to the market. So I have the luxury of time that maybe um, write writers who get published don't have. I have the luxury of time that mass market writers maybe don't have. So I have time to overcome the writer's block. But anyway, I just want to share, because maybe a lot of you probably only are about to write your first book, or maybe you just write for fun, but you take it seriously because it's part of your identity, and maybe you get like really, really frustrated with writer's block. So I want to help you here, and I won't say that this is like 100% guaranteed tips that will work, but maybe it will work for you. So I will just share. So I have written them down, but I think I will not follow the order of the bullet points. I will just share. So anyway, um, I have this story that I meant to be a two-part stories. I have already finished and post part one completely like 5 years ago, when I just pick up writing again, and everything was like it was the start of the pandemic. So I got to work from home, which I really like. I know I don't like COVID. I mean, COVID took my dad away from me, so I'm not saying I I like the time of the working from home from pandemics, but at the time, I feel like I need to move on from working as a full timer. I mean, I had grown jaded of working 9 to 5, and especially with the people I work with, even though they are generally kind to me, that like they didn't bully me or anything, but I feel this like intense boredom, and I feel like I'm dead. I feel like I was dead. I feel like I work only to survive. So when I got the chance to work from home, like still earning a regular income as a full-timer from home. It's I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it because at the time, COVID has not touched my family. So I regard it as a blessing in disguise. I got to work from home because I feel more comfortable working from home than working at the office for 8 hours straight in a cubicle. I mean, that suffocated me. That suffocated my soul, but I didn't know at the time. So I got into writing again, writing fan fiction, and I got a lot of ideas. And well, I got a lot of ideas, but like I only like wrote several of them. But um, that was when my writing was at its peak. Like I wrote so easily. I didn't have to take years, months, or years off to continue a story. Like I just when I set to write a story, I just get it done in several weeks or several months. So I wrote that this story I'm talking about, the part one, and I really, 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 really want to write part two because I left part one in cliffhanger, and I don't like leaving people in cliffhanger. But after COVID, my dad passed away because of COVID. My mom was almost gone as well by COVID, and we had to adjust to life without my dad. And then I quit my job because frankly, I didn't feel like going back to work. And also, I had to stay with my mom at home because I'm the only child. So I had to adjust to this drastic change. And I was still writing things at the time. So, yeah, so a lot of my work in progress got very delayed or even postponed. And so I just write lighter stories that are really based on real life events because it's so much easier. So I write one shots only during the last 5 years, and the only purely fictional alternative universe that I wrote that I only complete just one, and it's not this sequel that I plan to write. It's another alternative universe. It took me like I think a year or two to complete a 9 chapter story. Like, can you imagine that? Because I'm not the kind of writer who can write book after book after book based on the same formula, just different backgrounds and different people, different names, but based on the same formula. I don't know. I'm not like that, and I think a lot of fan fiction writers also feel the same way I do. Like we love variety, maybe because we don't have pressure from publishers, so we love to experiment. And I'm the kind of person who, like, if I start something, I have to finish it. It doesn't matter how long. So I only finished a very an original alternative universe fiction for after like 2 years, and this other story that I want to write a sequel of, I kind of archive it. Like I just accept the fact that it probably won't get written. I just accept that fact, and actually, accepting that fact lead me to actually going back to it. So if you have writer's block, and if you are lucky enough to be like a writer who doesn't have to worry about deadlines, if you have writer's block, I would suggest you to archive the story when you feel like it's slowing down. When you feel like, when you start grasping for ideas or scenes to keep the story moving, when you start grasping, when you start writing from your mind instead of from your heart, that's when you know you have to stop, because maybe the story just need a breather, or maybe because you don't, like, sometimes we have a rough picture of what we want to write, the start and the end, but we sometimes get stuck in the middle, like how to get from the start to the end and to make it believable. So if you are one of those writers who love to make your story very believable and still having that element of fantasy, you will need to take a lot of breaks, because you cannot just write anything just for the sake of keeping the story going, because then the story will lose its meat, you know. I like to write meaty stories, so when I start rambling unnecessarily, like describing the dialogue too much, or describing the details or the background too much that has nothing to do with the core of the story, that's when I know I have to stop. I have to stop and do something else that doesn't involve writing. And fortunately, I have tarot, which is like my second passion after writing. And actually, the reason I have been doing tarot for the last 4 years or so is because I lose confidence in my writing. Like, I wasn't able to, I was struggling to complete the alternative universe that I was writing for the last 2 years. So I look for other distraction, and that is one of the distraction is tarot. So I focus on tarot because I just can't, especially since I'm not working now, I just can't stand staying still. So I shift my focus on my channel. And but I don't stop writing, so I didn't stop writing, so I still write, but I write short stories and stories that are canon or stories based on real life events. So I still get to, you know, to use my writing skill, because if you don't practice you will lose it, and I don't want to lose my writing skill, so I need to practice. And so if I get inspiration um, from real life events, I just write it down, and I manage to, you know, to finish several short stories based on real life events. And what I was trying to say is that if you get writer's block, write another story that is lighter, that is easier, and like don't make it a burden. Like write other stories as you get inspired. I mean, you know, sometimes writers have several work in progresses, right? And if one work in progress is stuck, you move to another work in progress that that is easier to write and which you get most inspiration for. So what I did when I got stuck in this chapter serialized work, I shift my focus to my relationship, my family. I shift my focus to fangirling, to music, to movies. Shift my focus to doing tarot readings because I also enjoy it. And I shift my focus to writing short stories as I got the inspiration. So say for example, I suddenly got inspired to write a short story based on a real life event. I write it down and I set a target to complete it by like 1 week or by 2 weeks, because it's short, and because it's short, it's kind of achievable, and because it's based on real life events, it's not that hard to complete. So that's what I did to, not to overcome the writer's block, but while I was having the writer's block. And I thought that this story that I want to write a sequel for will never get a sequel. Like I gave up on it. I gave up on it. I archive it, like literally, not just out of sight, but also out of mind. It's been 5 years since I complete part 1, and only now in 2025 I I actually get somewhere with the sequel, like really get into it again, and not just writing 1 and 2 paragraphs and archive it again. I don't know when it started. Like I guess it's divine timing as well. But I think it's just kind of the build up over time when I completely ignore the story. And this is why archiving the story you got severe writer's block in is important, because it takes the pressure of finishing or completing that work off you. Like the moment you archive that story, you let go. And when you let go, the pressure also lifts, and the ideas actually will start flowing in. So if you are a published writer, like say you are a novel writer who have deadlines, maybe you don't have as much time out as us fan fiction writers who don't have deadlines. But if you like, okay, I don't think this story will work, I will just have to accept the fact and write a different story, maybe a shorter one. Like completely take your focus out of that fiction that got stuck, and and write some other thing that you can see yourself completing, and submit that one first, and then that story that got stuck will come back to you when it's time, because sometimes it's divine timing. I don't know. For me, it's like a build up of different things. So I focus on my tarot, but sometimes when I feel like writing, and when sometimes I didn't want to post tarot videos, or sometimes I plan to post tarot videos but I didn't do it because I didn't feel like it. It's the same like the writer's block. It's a tarot reader's block. Like I got maybe a little bored of it, or I didn't get inspired, and I feel like I need to do something else, and that's the spirit guiding me. Hey, you have to write this story, or there is an inspiration, and I just feel like, hey, I need to write this a fictional version of this event down, and yeah, that's how I work. So wherever my intuition is leading me to, I just follow it. So I don't force this story to finish if it doesn't want to be finished. So I kind of gave up with it. And along the years, I also don't read other fiction writers' works much, except maybe novels or books, because I know that it will. I mean, I often compare myself with other writers, especially since English is not my first language, but I enjoy writing in English so much, so I keep writing in English. And well, they say I'm decent. So, but reading too much work of other writers, especially if you are writers yourself, that can, especially if you are having writer's block, reading other writer's block can be a boomerang, because you will feel like, why they can do it but I cannot, you know. So I don't read other people's work that much, but I still read the works of the authors I really really like. So I read uh, a limited number of really good fictions, and ignore the rest, just to keep me interested in writing, just to keep me invested in writing, but not too invested that it it burdens me, not too invested that it gives me a huge pressure. So I just read a limited number of works from really good writers that I really like, so that I can get inspired from the way they write, from the way they create their stories. And the other day, I post on Instagram about a creative process, and I said something about, what did I say? I said something about, yeah, I said something about writer's block having to do with me transforming into a new person. I have gone through a lot of life changes, and like really radical life changes. So I realized that, and that's because I pull out the nothing is yet set in stone card from the Moonology deck. It's there, and I don't want to, get up and show it, but it's the picture is this moon, waxing moon, and then the waves, the sea waves, and the sea waves just give me an impression of an instability. So I am transforming as a person, and I am going through a lot of shifts in perspective, shifts in the way I treat myself, shifts in how I view life and how I view myself. And the hard reality that even though I am changing, my environment is still the same, because I have limited options. I want to move, I want to change my environment, but it's going to take a lot of energy, and I don't have it. So when I wrote that Instagram post, it's this. This is my tarot Instagram account. The Wandering Soul, not Soul, but Seoul. The Wandering Soul Tarot, because I love soul. So, yeah. So I post there about sometimes you just have to go easy on yourself, especially for those of you writers who really hate writer's block, because we are people and we are changing, and our lives and circumstances are changing, so we cannot just be on all the time. And sometimes drafts take years. Drafts may take years to write, even for people who write novels. Sometimes they take years to complete a novel, because they find timing and all, and because they are maybe having other things in their life. So I post that, and I tell everyone to be kind to themselves. And I don't get many I only get one like, but a lot of people view it. But so I hope that resonate with some of them. So after I shared that post, suddenly I felt like revisiting that work in progress that I have archived. And before that, I already wrote the first chapter, but then I got stumped again, and I stopped, and I archived that story again, that sequel. I archived that sequel again. And yesterday, after I wrote that post about us writers need to be kind to ourselves, because you can only create when you feel whole, when you feel happy, and when you feel inspired. So it's never a linear process. And after I post that, I feel kind of lighter. I feel more liberated. So I got back to the work in progress, and I didn't plan to continue it. I just feel like let me have another look at this abandoned story, and see if I can look at it with a lighter heart after I post about being kinder to yourself. Let's see if I can view it with a lighter heart, just as I suggested you to do. And once I read it, and I did say in my Instagram post that sometimes one line per day is enough, as long as you don't stop writing. So I thought that I would just like let me take another look at this 5 year long work in progress and see if I can write, just one line for part two, for part two, chapter two. And I write one line, and I don't know, suddenly the ideas just came. And now I'm actually like 2 chapters deep already. And today I'm recording this because I got stumped again. Like, see, it's writing is not a linear process. Like, even when after a long break and finally getting somewhere, you will still get bumps in the road. So yeah, be kind to yourself and like treat it lightly. Don't put too much expectation, because expectation and comparison with other writers will steal your joy in writing. It will make you hate the process instead of enjoying it, and it will make your writer's block worse. So yeah, so that's how I eventually managed to look at my old abandoned work in progress after years, and actually finally getting to like really getting to continue it. So to make things short, because I have a client as well, so and I think I have been rambling nonsensically, so I don't know if you still here, if you are still here. But if you are a writer and you feel pulled to watch this video, then you are meant to see this, and you are meant to hear what I have to say about writing process. So first, the first thing is archiving the story that you got stuck in. Like, put that out of sight, out of mind, and accept the fact that maybe it will never happen. Like, that will completely lift the pressure off you. And maybe one day, as you do something else, like maybe months or even years later, suddenly you see something or you hear something that kind of jiggle that that part of you that is waiting for ideas to continue the story. And then you suddenly know how you will progress with the story, how you will end the story. So first tip for writer's block is archiving the story. Stop writing it and do other things, and like not with the story still at the back of your mind. Like, completely accept the fact that, oh, I may never finish this. That is called reverse manifestation, and actually it works for me not just in writing but in other areas of my life. Like, once I completely let go and like stop manifesting or forcing it so hard, forcing anything so hard, and like just, okay, it will never happen, that thing happens. Like, I often hope some things to happen, and when I finally accept, okay, nothing will ever happen, I just life goes on and things like that. The time life goes on for me, that very thing happened. So that's the same with writing. So if you have writer's block, number one rule is life goes on. You move on to other things, and that thing that you got stumped on will come back to you somehow. Also, like I've said, don't compare yourself with other writers, because no every writer is not the same. Some writers, they are just naturally gifted since they were born, and they just got these wild ideas and they can write it down in such a compelling way. But other writers, they are made, not born, and they can be as good as those who are naturally gifted if they practice. So if you are not one of those rare writers like Stephen King, for example, don't compare yourself with even other writers in your fan fiction circle, because maybe there are some people who never run out of ideas, or some people who have this ability to write the same formula in different forms, different alternative universe, but still the same formula. And there are writers who write ideas that are comfortable for them, recycle them, But for me, I am not one of those writers who often get novel ideas. But once ideas come, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I like writing stories that appeal to the masses, but also have a, a good chunk of reality check in it. You know, it's fantasy, but it's realistic. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I love writing those kind of stories. So it can take me a while to complete an alternative universe. So don't compare yourself with other writers, because you are meant to write your own brand of stories, just like I have my own brand of stories. Like, I like my stories to be fictional, original, but realistic, and true to the main characters they are based on, true to the people I base my main characters on. So yeah, so it will take me double the effort, especially English is not my first language. So um, yeah, I don't compare myself, and that's why I don't read many works. I just read the works of writers I adore, to keep me on my toes, but not to pressure me to, you know, write new stories every month. So yeah, first, archive your story. Second, don't read, don't compare too much, don't read too many people's work, but read just enough to keep you motivated. Like, keep read enough works to keep you motivated enough, but not too many that you start to get pressure to write like other people, if you get what I mean. And then the third thing is that even though you have already abandoned a story, archive it, and like accept, oh, this is never going to happen, if suddenly there is something that inspire you or remind you of that story, or can potentially add to that story, or some ideas related to that story that you have abandoned, write it down, because those signs will show up randomly to help you complete that story that you have abandoned. So abandon it, but not not throwing it away, if you get what I mean. Give it up, but don't throw it away. Keep it in your archive. Like, tell yourself, I'm not going to write this, but it's okay. I mean, I have space to archive, for archives. And out of the blue, sometimes you will get inspiration, and then you suddenly have this whole plot in your mind to complete that story that you have abandoned. So always bring your notebooks, okay? And also, yeah, share your struggles, because when you share your struggle with others, and others can relate to it, that makes you feel seen, that makes you feel like you matter as a writer, and that makes you feel lighter. And when you feel lighter, you can fall in love with the joy of writing again, and you probably can pick up the story where you left it. And also, finally, I forgot what I was about to say for the fourth tip, but um, don't stop writing, okay? You may give up that one story that stumped you, but don't stop writing. Keep up the joy. Even if you are writing canon, like easy things to write, short stories, you still sharpen your skill, so that it will not so that it won't become rusty, you know, the writing skill. So don't stop writing. But yeah, if you got stumped, like, no matter how much you try, it's time for you to leave that story and move to something else. Completely let it go. But as soon as inspiration that reminds you of that story comes, write it down and reopen the archive, and actually reread that story, that half finished story. And maybe those ideas that you have wrote down will kind of like transfer itself to the paper, and you suddenly know how you can finish that abandoned story. Oh yeah, and I just remember, celebrate yourself. So if you have 15 work in progress, and you only got 5 done and got 5 actually published in Wattpad, in AO3, whatever. Reread your works. Maybe this sounds narcissistic, but really it's not. Reread your work, because sometimes you need to be reminded how good you are, especially if people have told you that they enjoy your story a lot, that your writing is special. You need to reread your old works, the works that you got published, and people's positive comment on it, and that will keep you motivated, that will keep you going. Maybe you will not get back to the story that got abandoned so soon, but at least you get remotivated to write again, and you restore your joy and love of writing. And maybe someday, when you least expect it, the ideas will write itself on in your head, and you have to write it down and reopen that abandoned story and get started again. And actually, maybe this time you will finish the story. So yeah, whoa, I almost talked for 1 hour. So yeah, if you are a writer, whether you are a published writer or not, I hope you can get some inspiration from it. I hope you can get something from this rambling. And yeah, I really hope that this video will reach those of you writers out there who happen to follow me, or who happen to come across this video, and really uh, give you additional tips on how to overcome writer's block. Okay, so I'm going to sign off, and maybe I will post another pick a card on love maybe soon. So yeah, until then, I'll see you again. Bye bye.